in the women's game. After losing out to England in the European Championship final last summer, they arrive in Melbourne with renewed vigour to try and go one better this time around. Their opponents, Morocco, are appearing in their first World Cup and are the second lowest ranked side in the competition. But a surprise run to the final of the African Nations last year in front of a record home crowd showed Moroccan football is really on the way up. It's the opening encounter in Group H and kick-off is just 30 minutes away. And delighted to be joined by former Scottish international Kim Little and Lioness Fran Kirby. Fran, obviously we're gutted you're not in Australia, but delighted to have you with us. What have you made of England's opener against Haiti the other day?
Yeah, I think it was a lot tougher than what people thought it was going to be, especially from the outside. But from the World Cup so far, we've seen, a few results here and there that people probably didn't expect to see. So, yeah, I mean, first and foremost, getting the win was the most important thing, and getting the experience in the girls. Some of the girls were having their World Cup debuts in that game, so it's a completely different feeling going into that. So I think the girls will be happy with the win. They'll know, they have to improve and do things in training to get ready for Denmark. But ultimately, 3 points on the board, get the games started with a win was the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Kim, looking at today's game, then we saw at the top that Germany is such a powerhouse. They've got to be expected to go very deep into this tournament.
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously the run to the final in the Euros last summer shows that even currently, although their previous success in the Olympics, gold medals, winning European Championships and World Cups numbers of times, I think we all know they're a tournament team, and I think they will definitely go far this tournament.
Fran, there was a shock though before the tournament. I remember looking at this back, I think it was the morning after, and I'm like, hold on a minute. Germany lost to Zambia 3-2. I mean, it was deep in added time, but this was a shock. Does this count for much though?
I mean, it's always good going into a tournament with the back of a win. So I think they'll be disappointed with that. And like you said, conceding so late, but I don't think they'll pay much mind into it. I think, Germany know what they're about. And as Kim alluded to earlier, they're a tournament team. So I think, yeah, they will have that in the back of their mind, but not too much going into this game.
I think maybe sometimes it highlights where they may have weaknesses. So in some ways it can sometimes help. Obviously they got in behind, Zambia got in behind there to score a couple of the goals in that game. So I think sometimes it can give you a bit of a wake-up call too. Yeah,
and a double blow as well. A few injuries picked off. Oberdorf not starting tonight because of that hour today, of course, as well. Kim, it's the first ever Women's World Cup for Morocco, runners-up in the Africa Cup of Nations. The game is really developing there now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting story. I think within the women's game, obviously it's well known that federations and associations haven't necessarily put enough behind the women's teams, but I think Morocco are a good sign of that, in that they've put this proactive strategy in place over the last kind of 4 years, and they've got the outcome they wanted from it in qualifying for the World Cup. So I think it's a really nice story, and I'm glad that they've done that and got the reward for it.
Yeah, of course, the men had their moment in Qatar, reaching the semi-final. Fran, what is the aim then of this women's side in this World Cup?
I mean, I was reading an interview yesterday from the manager, and he was saying, we're excited to be here, yes, but we also want to show what we're about and what we can do. So, I mean, you can read into that how you want, how they're going to look at this game and prepare for this game. But reading from what he was saying, it was very positive. It was very, we're not coming here just to be another team, part of the tournament. We want to come and show what we're about. And as Kim said, they want to grow the game, and they're really pushing for it. And as you said, they took a lot of confidence from the men and how they did in Qatar. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they set up today and how they're going to play against Germany. But reading from what he has said, I think, they're going to go into it really positive and full of, confidence as much as they can have.
Absolutely. Well, we'll find out next then. Take a closer look at the team news for both sides. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Melbourne, where one of the tournament favourites, Germany, are about to begin their World Cup campaign. Martina Voss-Tecklenburg has had to make some difficult decisions ahead of this one, with injuries to key players in the build-up. So let's see how the Germans line up today. Well, 7 of the team who started the Euros final start this game. Fran, looking at this, is this what you expected from this German side and this German squad for a starting 11?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're missing 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who is undoubtedly one of their best players. But I mean, looking at that, I'd probably say it's pretty right if you're losing her out of the team. Obviously, 𝓲𝓲𝓲 is a bit more of an attacking player, so I'm expecting them to probably get down that right side quite a lot. But I mean, having Pop back, obviously they missed her a lot in the Euros final, and I think she's the one that can be that clinical edge for them going forward. But yeah, I really like the 2 wingers as well. I think they're really, really attacking minded, good on the ball, strong, pace, powerful. So, and also really happy to see Melanie Leupolz in there, obviously my teammate from Chelsea. So I'm really, really happy to see her starting.
Is that what you expected, that German side? I mean, despite the injuries, still a lot of depth there, isn't there, Kim?
Yeah, I think so much depth. I think, as Fran said there, with Leupolz coming in into 𝓤𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 midfield, it'll slightly change the dynamic because you're playing more with 2 8s rather than a 6 in 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. But I think that'll provide, a really good base for Magul and Brand and the forwards to play.
Talking of forwards, Alexandra Popp, we expected to see her sort of deployed in that forward role today, Fran?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she's a key player for them. I think when we found out in the Euro final that she had come out with a warm-up injured, I think everyone kind of had that sigh of relief a little bit, because
I bet you can believe it.
Yeah, everyone knows what a handful she is. She's strong, she's physical, she's good at hold-up play, she's good at running in behind. You know, she is such an important player for them, and I think it showed that in the final especially. So it's really nice to see her back on the pitch and doing, you know, what she does best. But she is an absolute handful, and I'm sure the Moroccan defenders will get their teeth into her a little bit, because she can be really, really aggressive.
Oh yeah, how do they deal with her, Kim?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. I think I remember watching her in the Champions League final against Barcelona, and I think they really struggled in the first half because they weren't physical enough. And then they came out and kind of took over the game in the second half, and the reason, I think a big reason was that because they kind of matched her physically. So I think
you have
to, yeah. Otherwise, she just
bullies you all day.
Yeah. Well, Pop will need creativity behind her. Will that come from Lena Magul?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she's top player, and obviously we spoke earlier, she'd probably be deployed in a bit more of a 10 role. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of creativity in her. I think obviously she scored the goal against us in the final, and we all know her capabilities, and she's the kind of player that likes to get the ball in between the lines, get on the half turn, play the ball forward, and I think she's really deadly at set pieces as well, so I think that'll bring another element to their game.
So no 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. How will that dynamic work in the midfield then with Melanie Leupolz?
Yeah, I think they may probably play with kind of 2 6s, 8s, so like they'll maybe mix it up in terms of the build-up rather than it just be 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. But I think that will then actually provide a little bit more base for Magul to go on and be free, rather than playing with a 6, a 8 and a 10. But yeah, I think Magul, yeah, she's their most creative player, and I think we saw that in her run in the Euros last year, that if she can get on the ball and she can kind of find her flow, then Germany will be at their best.
Yeah, tough test then for Morocco. This is how they line up. Looking at this lineup, Fran, is this how you expect them to set up? Might it be more defensive than that, do you think?
Yeah, I think you'll either see 5 across the back or 5 across the midfield, but I don't think they'll go with 3 at the back. I think if they're going to do it, it'll probably be 2 wing backs rather, that would drop in lower to give that support in there. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very defensive game for them. But like I said, with the manager and his comments, you don't know how to interpret that. Do they go for it? Do they see what they can do? But yeah, I think it's going to be very counter-attacking football and trying to catch Germany on the break. Yeah,
Ghislaine Chebec, one of the best players, would you say, Kim?
Yeah, I think so. I think she was one of the most influential players in their qualifying campaign into the final of the Africa Cup of Nations, and I think she's their captain, their leader, and I think our role maybe might change in a game like this because they're playing against such a high-ranked team that it is mostly going to be about organisation, discipline. So she'll be paramount to making them be able to do that so that they can potentially keep the scoreline down.
WSL fans know all about 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, a lovely story. Scottish mum, Moroccan dad, sadly passed away, but she's chosen to play for Morocco. What does she bring to this team?
Yeah, she brings pace. She brings a drive on the ball. I've known 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 for a long time, both at Reading and at Chelsea, so I know a lot about her qualities. And yeah, I think she's been a pivotal player in getting them to this World Cup. I think she's someone that's brought a fresh belief in their team. I think, like I said, she's very, very quick. That's why I think they'll play more of a counter-attacking style football rather than, you know, trying to beat Germany in a high press moment or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I think she's definitely going to be their outlet. She can sometimes get a little bit frustrated, so it'll be interesting to see how she manages when they literally probably won't have much of the ball going into this game. But I think she understands her role in this team and understands maybe where they're at compared to other nations and thrive off that number 9 role of being the one that they're going to look to, and we just need you to run and make it difficult. And when you know that's your role, I think she thrives off it because she knows they rely on her. So I'm excited to watch her and see what she brings.
Yeah, absolutely. OK, we're going to take a quick break now as kickoff closes in. It's 7 wins out of 8 in World Cup openers for Germany today, but their debutants Morocco and their opponents will be doing everything they can to spring a surprise. See you shortly. Well, welcome back to Melbourne, where we are about to get our first look at a very well-fancied German side who are taking on Morocco. Fran, in this competition so far, we haven't seen huge scorelines. Is there a worry that might happen today, or can Morocco perhaps bring a surprise?
I think there's always a possibility of it. Like you said, we haven't seen it so far, and I think that shows how far the women's game has gone. I think when they expanded the teams out a little bit, people weren't sure how other nations were going to cope, and they've came here and they've held their own and they've shown why they deserve to be here. So, I mean, for me, I hope it doesn't become a large scoreline because I think it shows, you know, the women's game still has time to grow. But, I mean, ultimately, Morocco have a really tough task, I think. I think they have to defend really, really well for 90 minutes, and that's really tough.
Kim, England fans will have a keen eye on this. Potentially, they could meet Germany in the quarterfinals without wanting to get ahead of ourselves. So, are we going to see, you know, what England could expect? It's hard to say from an opener sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think all teams who are high ranked, who have the potential to go further into tournament. We'll be keeping a close eye on all the teams, like I said, with England, with Germany. So I think they'll be, keeping a close eye on it, like other teams, potentially seeing what they look like without key players in 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 and Heggering. And also Huth at right back. You know, I think there's a few changes there where you might be able to see a slightly different German team to last summer, say at the Euros. So I think at this stage it's just keeping a close eye on teams and seeing what they potentially could do later on.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get to our commentators for this one then. Siobhan Chamberlain alongside Sam Matterface.
Thank you, Michelle. Yes, it's been 7 years since Germany have won an international title in women's football. But last year's European Championship gave notice that a superpower of the women's game had been rearmed. They might be without 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who you saw on the bench there today, but they have got experience meshed with guile, fused with energy and intent. The build-up hasn't been without its bumps and bruises, but the real business for Germany starts here. Morocco, who are well supported inside the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium, have never played at a World Cup before. However, their inspiration comes from the men's performance in Qatar and their previous trailblazing achievements. And there is quite a Moroccan diaspora in Australia. 10,000 people of Moroccan descent live in the country, and there's quite a healthy contingent to roar them on at their first ever World Cup game. Germany, the experienced side, ranked number 2 in the world, taking on Morocco at their first ever World Cup. And it all comes after we've heard both countries' national
Please
anthems.
rise if you are able for the national anthem of Germany. Please remain standing if you are able for the national anthem of Morocco.
The second part of our triple header sees Euro finalist Germany take on Morocco, and it's next. MCG. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 is the referee from Florida tonight. Became the first woman to referee in the MLS for 20 years, in charge of proceedings. Morocco, the first Arab nation to take part in a Women's World Cup. And 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, their captain, eventually making the coin toss. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 has just held up her shirt with number 2 on the back for Caroline Simon, who ruptured her cruciate just before the start of the tournament, a friendly international, and as a result didn't make the squad. VAR today is Carol Ann Chenard from Canada, keeping an eye on proceedings from the hub. And the German team in their huddle before getting ready to go. They do start with 7 of the 11 that started the Euro final at Wembley a year ago. Marina Hegering is here but has a heel injury. Bayern star Julia Guin hasn't fully recovered from her cruciate injury, so 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 starts at right back. Oberdorf struggling with a thigh injury, she'll be a miss, but Melanie Leupolz of Chelsea is an able replacement. And it's a remarkable story, she's brought her son with her to the tournament. Alexandra Popp back up front, one of the world's best finishers leading the line. Morocco's players largely play in their domestic league. 19-year-old French youth international has now switched to Morocco, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. She'll play in the heart of defence. You see her in midfield there, but she'll probably drop a little bit deeper. She'll partner Spain-based Yasmin Rabat. Captain and driving force 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 will be crucial in midfield, and Tottenham's 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 Ayane leading the line. She's one of a handful of players called up after the Moroccan FA casted their net a little bit further afield. Very similar 11 to that finished the AFCON, and a very similar 11 for Germany that finished the European Championships a year ago. Germany wearing white with that big, thick black plank down the middle of their shirt. Morocco in the red, and there couldn't be a bigger contrast. Germany prowling, dripping with winners from the Bundesliga and the Champions League. Morocco making their debut. Siobhan Chamberlain picked up 50 caps for England and went to 3 World Cups. Morocco, as we've mentioned, on the world stage for the first time. Will they take confidence from other teams that aren't expected to compete at this tournament?
I'm sure they will do. They've only got to look at Jamaica's performance yesterday against France. It was unbelievable. They got their 0-0 draw, and that will give them confidence. You look at Haiti, they only lost 1-0 to England. Philippines put in a brilliant performance against Switzerland. There's so much confidence they can take from these teams. Although Germany are the type of team, when you get to a World Cup, when you get to a major tournament, they always tend to get the job done. So it will be tough for them.
It's Maria von Tecklenburg, who's taking part in her 3rd World Cup as a head coach. And Reynald Pedros, the head coach of Morocco, is in his 3rd year in charge. He's been a big part of their upward mobility and a serial winner in the women's game in France. Germany are historically powerhouses of women's football. 2 times winners of the World Cup back in the early 2000s. Serial European champions and knockout stage regulars. And as Siobhan was saying, when they get to one of these big tournaments, they usually turn up the heat. Katrin Hendrick. This is Merle Frooms. There have been concerns that Germany a bit vulnerable to the counter-attack. Recent matches have exposed that. They might play into Morocco's hands in the fact that they'll try and play football inside opposition territory. They were criticised a little bit in the build-up to the game for having too high a line in their previous match against Zambia. Real pressure being applied early on. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓷𝓰. It's a handball. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 guilty of giving away a free kick in a dangerous position.
A really dangerous position. I don't think you can have any qualms about giving away that free kick, a definite handball, but Germany are fantastic from set pieces. They've got some good height, they've got great deliveries. and Morocco really need to be careful to try and avoid giving away as many set pieces as possible.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 standing over the free kick over on the far side. They'll look for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who doesn't seem to do much in matches a lot of the time and then pops up with a fantastic goal. She is the arch poacher, just occupying the space at the bottom of your picture. Aimed in towards that far post, and goalkeeper 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 almost caught out by what was a flashing delivery from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲.
You can see she slightly takes a step to her right before the delivery comes in. Ends up whipping wide of that post. I'd have liked to have seen it a little bit further away from the goalkeeper, giving the German players a chance to attack that ball.
Morocco not only breaking new ground for their country, they're breaking new ground for their region. Morocco, the first North African side to play at a Women's World Cup. First Arab nation to play at a Women's World Cup. They are already trailblazers in Africa. Now a chance to break. Ball from Fatima Tangan out, just a little bit too heavy for Rosella Ayane of Tottenham Hotspur.
We spoke before about Germany's potential weakness on transition and that high line. You can see already Morocco potentially trying to exploit that, especially you heard Frank Kirby speak about Rosella Ayane in the build-up. She's got so much pace and she'll be looking to exploit that high line.
Yeah, Rosella Ayane was born in Reading and grew up in a household with a Moroccan dad and a Scottish mum, decided to switch her allegiance to Morocco after her dad's passing. Says she feels more connected to her dad when she wears the Moroccan shirt. She only switched allegiances just before the AFCON. Doesn't speak French or Arabic, but says that her teammates have made her feel very welcome. She said that's despite the fact that her mum and dad did speak French to one another, and she understands a little bit, but she should be fluent by now, she says.
Yeah, it's one thing understanding it, it's another thing being able to speak it fluently. I'm sure she understands some football phrases now, though.
She understands more than me, that's for sure. Germany on the attack. Hoot. He's really an attacking player, but playing it right back today, and will progress down that right touchline and cause problems for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
We've seen a couple of times already. She's already got to this byline twice and caused a dangerous delivery to start with.
McGall playing really high up inside opposition territory as well, as one of those three midfield players, and trying to affect the play and keep Morocco pinned inside their own half. They are a creative team. McGall's a terrific player.
I think without Oberdorf there, the kind of more natural holding midfielder, you've got Debritz and Leopolds that will both do a bit of holding, a bit of getting forward, so probably gives McGall a little bit more licence to stay a little bit higher, find those pockets just in front of that back line and be a little bit more dangerous for Germany.
Pop on the chase. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 leaves it for Khadija Remici, who only started playing football properly at the age of 17. Tangan out, looking for the return. Interception from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 of Wolfsburg. Hendrick. Diagonal out towards that left-hand side where 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 was waiting, but immediately harassed by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who sends it long, and Ayana's on the chase here, and she's got the speed. Outpaced 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Tries to centre it, but in the end it only found Leupolz. That is the route, isn't it? Tagging out. Top dropping deep. Morocco win it back. Tagging out's on the chase again, not this time.
Brilliant pace there by Rosella Rayan, causing problems for the German backline. Just needed a little bit more quality once she got hold of the ball. It's going to be difficult for her because she's got to get time for the rest of her teammates to kind of catch up with that counter-attack.
There have been a few warnings for Germany. They didn't get the perfect send-off. 2 defeats in their last 3 games. A narrow win over Vietnam and defeat to Zambia. But the enthusiasm brought up at last year's European Championships has not been dampened despite a few injuries. Pop. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Morocco backpedaling. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 dispossessed. Just the vital moment by Yasmin Rabat. We watched a little bit of the final of the AFCON earlier today. The first time I watched it, I thought South Africa had the better of the Moroccan side. The second time we watched it, it was almost complete domination for the first 10 minutes. I think Morocco will be pretty pleased the way they've started here.
They will do, and that's when you come into a game as an underdog, you really want to keep a clean sheet for as long as possible. Keep it tight, keep it compact, start to frustrate the opposition, and don't let them get any kind of momentum up. Morocco have definitely done that so far.
Only Zambia are ranked lower than Morocco at this World Cup. They've never qualified for an Olympics, but were surprise runners-up at last year's AFCON. Gulbrand trying to get round the back of Radouani. And that access on that right-hand side of Houghton and Gulbrand going to be a real difficult pairing to contain. Magul, a decent looking cross, and the goalkeeper came, and now there's a chance. And 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's header is cleared away inside the 6-yard box. Just wasn't able to get the requisite power on that, and they've been handed the ball back here. Hendrick, and it's in. Didn't take long, did it? Alexandra Pop, prolific at the Euros, and starting as she means to go on. A Morocco mistake, gifting the ball back to Germany, and the European finalists taking full advantage.
Germany's high press working so well, regaining the possession, beautifully slid ball, and Hendrick with a fantastic delivery. The goalkeeper comes out in no man's land, and Pop with an easy header. For her standards, she's always going to finish from there. You can't afford to leave her unmarked in the box. And just as we were saying, Morocco will be happy with their start. It's 1-0 to Germany.
They were unsettled by giving the ball away so high up inside their own half. Morocco never really recovered from that. Hendrick coming up from centre-back was the one that got the cross in down the right-hand side. Just shows you the creativity in this German ranks.
Yeah, you look at the squad depth that Germany have got, the players that are out missing, that are injured, the rotation that they can have within this side. Who took right back? Yet is Hendrick, your centre-back, getting the assist with a fabulous cross.
Hendrick, one of the best defenders in the Bundesliga, plays for Wolfsburg, a 59th cap tonight. Also qualified to play for Belgium. Can't think for 1 minute why she decided to play for Germany, can you?
Maybe one or two reasons.
What a goal scorer she is. German Golden Boot winner last season. She missed the final of the European Championships after getting injured in the warm-up against England. England pretty happy about that, I think. But she had scored in every game in the group stages, in the knockout stages, up until that final.
You heard Fran talk about it pre-match, the relief that they felt in the dressing room when they knew she wasn't playing. She's a match winner. She's a goal scorer. She's absolutely brilliant for Germany, and she's kind of the player they look to if things aren't potentially going well. So having her not on the pitch for that final would have definitely helped England to no end.
Magul. Robbing 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Another cross into the boxes behind 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. And it's Brand. Wouldn't sit down for her.
Another opportunity for Germany. We're going to see a rerun of the goal here. So fabulously lifted delivery and pop, completely unmarked in the middle of the penalty box. You cannot leave Alexandra Popp unmarked.
As an incredibly experienced goalkeeper, was it the right decision for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to come out and try and claim that?
It wasn't. She needed to drop in. She was never going to make the cross. Drop in, hold your ground, and that header comes straight at you if it's not angled differently to how she headed it in that instance. And you say that if she sees the goalkeeper in a different position, yes, she'll head it slightly differently, but you're giving yourself a chance to make the save by dropping in.
Shebak. And couldn't get it under control. Very quickly, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 across to try and shut down any danger. It's interesting looking at the shape of that German defence, isn't it? It's almost like a lopsided back four with Rauch and Dorsun and Hendrick in the traditional positions you would expect for a back four, and then Hoop high up here on the right-hand side. Might mean that there is a little bit of room to attack down the left for Ardouani and Tagenau, but Martina von Stekelenburg, who is taking part in her third World Cup as a head coach, knows exactly how to counteract those situations.
She does, and I'm sure Hoot will attack a lot more than Rauch, but Rauch's another player that she's a fullback that will attack with the ball when she gets opportunity to. So I think so long as they've got that rotation and they make sure they've got a midfielder that drops in, I think Germany should be quite comfortable with being able to commit bodies forward to the attack regularly.
Fell by De Brits on Anissa Lamari. Deep German defence here. It's delivered towards that back post and headed away. Now a chance to break for Germany. Magul playing it against Fatima Tagenau.
You mentioned it there, but a really interesting setup by Germany from that wide free kick. It was quite a deep free kick. They were sat on the edge of the 6-yard box. You tend to do that potentially when you've got a goalkeeper that's not comfortable coming and claiming, but Rhomes is a very competent goalkeeper. It's an interesting decision. It'd be interesting to see if they progress like that.
Clara Ball with a slip by Cassie, and she's taken advantage of it. Cassie has managed to prevent her going any further. Sarah Cassie plays in Paris for Fleury. Chance to break. Morocco showing their speed. Ayan going through the centre. Tagenau feeding a chance for Rosella Ayan. Just went a little bit too wide. And I think the offside flag came up pretty smartly. Just maybe nudged ahead a little bit early.
Just half a half a foot's width offside, but shows where Morocco can start to exploit Germany. We spoke about it before, the fact that Hoot is attacking really high up the pitch. It's leaving those gaps, and Ayan didn't need to go quite that early. She's got the pace to beat that back line. Just hold a little bit longer and she could be on goal.
No, she's a threat. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Well, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 back to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, the Wolfsburg goalkeeper. She's had a bit of a nearly season. She was a Champions League runner-up, Bundesliga runner-up. Did manage to win the German Cup, but how she would love to win this prize with Germany. And that is their stated aim. Morocco fans out in numbers today. Morocco, well-structured side. They're technically proficient. They do have taste to burn on those flanks. Germany have to be wary, especially after the goals that they've conceded recently. They haven't scored, Morocco, in their last 5 matches, which will be of concern.
It definitely will be. If you know that you've got a goal scorer on your team, you know that no matter how things are going, you've got someone that's going to put the ball regularly in the back of the net for you. It always gives you hope. It always gives you a chance. If you're struggling with getting those goals in the back of the net, it makes things a little bit more difficult.
Cassie away. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 trying to release 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
They should feel positive from this start, though. It should give them confidence. They've got at Germany's backline. They've created opportunities, a couple of offside chances, but they have been in Germany's final third. It hasn't been all dominant from Germany.
Trying to squeeze it down that right-hand side. Not kept in. Kept in with any possession, but Clara Ball's given away a throw-in down by that corner flag.
Confident play from Morocco. Look at the bodies that they've got in this high-up corner. They're committing bodies forward to the attack. They're not just defending.
Cassie, Ayan trying to turn. She ran out of room. Well, Pedros, the coach, led Lyon to the Champions League and French League success. It's well thought of in Morocco. Bull. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. This is 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Dropping deep and moving out to that left-hand side. Bull. Good football from Germany. A little bit too hefty and behind 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Won it back again. Good defending by Morocco.
Morocco working really hard there to get bodies behind the ball. They're organised with their back line. They're organised with their shape in front of the back line, and it's making it difficult for Germany to break them down and to find those pockets and find those passes between the lines.
It's interesting because I suppose we shouldn't be too surprised by Morocco's competitiveness, bearing in mind, although they don't have World Cup experience, they did finish runners-up to South Africa at last year's WAFCON. They led that tournament in terms of possession, passing accuracy, shots, had the joint most shots on target. We're never going to dominate possession against Germany, but they are well structured.
They are, and that's one of the big things. If you can be well structured against a team that's ranked significantly higher than you, see there, she just strayed slightly offside again. But if you could be well structured, if you could be organised, and you've got a threat up top, you're always going to be in with a chance.
Leupolz. Dispossessed by 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓰. Now a chance to break for Morocco once again. Ayane waiting in the centre. Crosses towards her. Bumped into the air. Ayane is still there. Will soon away. Comes back out to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. That's worth a hit.
Definitely was worth a hit. Comfortable in the end for Fromms. Works her feet across well. Slight deflection, slight dip of the ball is going to cause her more problems.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Magul, space out on that left-hand side if they can find Clara Ball. And they've done just that. And now they're unsettled, Morocco. Away by Radawani. This kick by De Brits. And then eventually the offside flag went up. I did think when the ball was played down that left-hand side initially, Clara Ball might have gone a tad early.
This is that earlier strike. She struck it so cleanly. Fromms had time to get her body across, move her feet, but an early sighter there.
Ghislaine 𝓳𝓸𝓲, captain, record goal scorer, great leader. She is the 5 times player of the year. Testing Merle Fromms. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 comes from a good line of footballing pedigree. Her dad played for Morocco. Pot. Magul. Ball just couldn't get there, but was tidied up by Melanie Leupolz. First corner of the game.
Germany looking a lot more confident on the ball when they get higher up the pitch. They're struggling at the moment, I think, to get from the defensive line through to the midfield. They're not finding those gaps well enough. I don't know whether it's because Oberdorf is normally in there. But high up the pitch, there's no questions about that.
Cross home towards that far post, and it's flicked away. Leupolz was the one lurking. Hoop putting pressure on Tagenau. It's a German throw. Sven Yahut. Well blocked by 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
Strong defending, but great combination play there with Rauch and Leupolz.
Oh, what a turn by Leupolz in towards that near post. Comes down on the edge of the box, took a deflection. And the hit on the edge of the area was from Rauch. Elodie Nakash doesn't feel particularly comfortable about the block.
She got knocked by her own defender. Cassie came across and caught her. Nothing malicious there in terms of any kind of foul. But you said before, Rauch, with the shot there from the edge of the box. You've got Hoot up one side, Rauch up the other side having the shot. The amount of bodies Germany are committing to this attack. They're the opportunities and the moments that when Morocco do regain possession, they need to be able to exploit it in behind.
Well, he's having a good time, and we're making sure that you're getting access to all the football on ITV and ITV1 and ITVX over the next little while. And now Feast of Football continues this afternoon. Kick-off at midday today. Brazil against Panama. And that's the final game of the first round of group matches. ITV1 and STV. All the highlights available on ITVX if you want to look back at some of the best moments of the week.
Lots of goals and lots of penalties to catch up on.
Haven't had a penalty for a couple of days now, Siobhan.
I know, have I jinxed that?
Slightly disappointed that we haven't had one in the last couple of days. The tournament started with penalty in every single match up until yesterday. None in the 3 games yesterday and none today. Yet.
We still have time.
We certainly do. Given away again. It's a free kick, and Germany aren't 100% settled. I know that Martina 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 said she was relaxed despite the lacklustre build-up. She pointed out it was pretty similar last year when they went to the Euros final, and they'll play their way in. But they're not up to 100% speed yet, are they?
They're not, but you don't need to be at 100% speed in your first group game. We said that with England the other day. You just need to get the job done. Keeping a clean sheet, getting 90 minutes in the legs of a number of players is going to be really important.
It's noisy in there. Clara ball. Cassie. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Cassie again trying to just tease it down the touchline, and it was a little bit behind 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
Talk about Germany's build-up play. They used to having Oberdorf in that central space. I know I mentioned it before, but when you change a key player like that, it does change the whole dynamic for the build-up.
Good turn. Taken out, trying to squeeze away from Pop, and then upsetting the American referee. Challenge on 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
Nearly got away with a nice little skill there, but you always know if you're getting tackled by one German player, there's always, if you miss the tackle from one German player, there's going to be another one coming straight behind.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 is a experienced German international. The only thing she hasn't won actually is the World Cup. On the Euros, the Champions League, the Bundesliga on several occasions. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 not quite able to get hold of that.
Germany not exploiting these wide areas quite as much as they did in that first 10-15 minutes. They got more positive actions, more entries into that 18-yard box when they used these wide areas early on. It's gone a bit more central, and it's been crowded out because Morocco are really organised.
Magul. Winning it back and giving it straight to Ayaan. Shebak, good feet. Trying to get the ball out the other side. Maybe a little bit ambitious that for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to chase. The good news for German supporters is that Germany have only ever lost 3 of their World Cup matches after scoring first, and 2 of those were in World Cup quarter-finals. They've got themselves into a strong position thanks to Alexandra Pop's first goal of the tournament. I get the sense it probably won't be her last. And they thought they'd won the ball back really high up there. And 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 a little bit upset that she has been judged to have fouled Hanan El-Hadj.
Too much in that, maybe a little bit too physical for the referee, but Germany showing their intent for pressing high, winning the ball back. If Morocco are going to loiter on the ball at all in that back line, they're going to get pressed.
a great idea from Alexandra Pop, and it might still come through on the edge of the area to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Offside flag has gone up. Celebrations curtailed.
Just couldn't get herself back on side after the initial deflection. The ball came in too quickly. It's a fabulous finish from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, isn't it? Just lofting it over the goalkeeper with ease, showing her class. Thankfully for Morocco, it was offside and disallowed.
Incredibly gifted midfield player, influential in this team. And won the double with Lyon after moving to France. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Watching on, knowing that her team had a couple of chances, but not as many as maybe many were predicting here. I think a lot of people coming into this game thought that it would be a rout. It's a foul.
We talk about the expectation of more goals. We heard England manager Sarina Wiegman say after the game England needs to be more ruthless because people expected more goals from them. That's what Germany need to do at the moment. They're dominating possession. They're not being as clinical as they usually would be or would want to be, but they've not been anywhere near as ruthless as they usually are.
No goal. And the other thing is that the quality of the other teams, which sometimes has been in question at these tournaments, is a lot closer. People are developing at real pace, and that is causing some of the bigger, more favoured nations problems every now and again. Brandt trying to get forward into an advanced position after a sloppy throw. Morocco have recovered.
It definitely is, and it's brilliant to see. You want to see competitive games from the outset of the tournament. You don't want to have to wait till you get to the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, to see the 1-1s, the 2-1s. Yes, as a commentator, as a fan, you want to see loads of goals, but you want it to be close, you want it to be competitive, and that's what it has been in the majority of this tournament so far.
Pop chasing. Khadija Ramici is quickly off her line.
She's definitely had a quieter game than I'm sure she would have imagined. Not really been called into action too much, and I'm sure will be incredibly frustrated with the goal that Germany did score, making that decision to come. And she should have just dropped in and attempted to make the save from the header.
All of the Moroccans' games recently have been pretty tight. They haven't scored in the last 5, but they have drawn with Italy and Switzerland. Lost narrowly to the Czechs, Romania, and early last week to Jamaica. Taken out. Brandt and Hendrick having to double up.
It's that balance, isn't it, of being hard to beat, but being able to commit enough bodies forward to score goals. At the moment, for Morocco, their priority has to be hard to beat, and then you can potentially last 5-10 minutes. Can you go for it? Can you try and exploit those opportunities in the final third?
Mamari. Been a foul. Germany get away with it, look to try and build an attack. Pop holds it up well. Hendrick. A big diagonal for 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰, but he's not going to reach it.
I think that's the right idea, though, for Germany. Trying to switch the ball a little bit quicker, moving it faster, making Morocco move. At the moment, it's a little bit slow in possession. Yes, they're dominating it and they're moving it around, but they're not popping it around with pace, with speed, with intent. By switching the ball quickly, they'll be able to pull Morocco out of shape and get a lot more opportunities.
offside pop lurking with intent. Good tackle. Hanan 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 timing her intervention at just the right moment.
Brilliant recovery from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and it had to be inside the box. Brand was coming in towards that near post space, and it's a fantastic defending.
Second corner of the game for Germany. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, the referee, just wanting to go and make her mark. Corner delivered towards that near post area, and she's there again. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. An aerial and physical presence like no other. Showing she means business, and Germany showing they mean business. Morocco will be disappointed again, but the smiles are on the faces of the Germans, who lead by 2-0.
Once again, it's a fantastic delivery from wide areas. She got down low, she held off her defender, and once again with her head / shoulder made its way into the back of the net. This time from a set piece. It's a brilliant delivery. So hard to defend against, and 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 is up and running well and truly in this tournament.
It's looking a little bit more comfortable for Germany now. She really is a difference maker, isn't she?
She definitely is, and you said it at the start of the game. Sometimes she's not involved at all, but she always pops up and scores.
Clara ball dispossessed by Cassie. Morocco have got to just ensure now that they don't lose heart.
They've worked really hard so far. They'll want to get to half-time. The next 5 or 6 minutes are really important for them to try and get to half-time without conceding again, because then it does get disheartening.
They've got real ability, haven't they, all over the pitch, Germany, but with 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, she's something else. She's got the ability to determine the energy of the team. She can get everybody up just that extra level.
She does, and teams that have got those kind of players, it always gives you that added kind of dimension.
Giving the ball away here. Tagging out might be sent through, as she is, and she's in behind the defence. It's tagging out for Morocco. Lost her confidence at the last moment. She had support, and she couldn't find 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. And that was a big chance to get Morocco's first goal at a World Cup, although it may well have been that the offside flag went up.
It was a very late offside flag. It's a tight call, that is. I'm sure our automated offside will let us know for definite. But thankfully for her, if it wasn't offside, she missed it anyway. Otherwise, it would be heartbreaking.
But once again, exposing the fragility of that German high line and the ability that Morocco have got on the break.
Definitely straight through the middle of that German back line. One pass and through. Yes, she didn't quite hold for long enough, but as you said, exposing that fragility and showing that there are opportunities for Morocco to get forward and get shots on goal. I was talking about Morocco trying to keep it tight and not go in more than 2-0 down, and here they were at the other end of the pitch, nearly taking it back to 2-1.
Magul. Clara ball. Getting past Cassie. And then the tempo comes in from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's good feet by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Moroccans on the charge again. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. once again. It's a good switch. Taken out. Ayan's gone through the middle. The ball just a little bit too hefty for her. She was screaming for it, pointing where she wanted the ball there, Rosella Ayan.
It was the right ball to play, and it was a fantastic run from Ayan. Just slightly overhit, but again, more positive play from Morocco and giving them much more confidence. And hopefully, if they can maintain this scoreline, even pull one back, it gives them a lot more confidence going into that second half.
Well, the men's side gave the Moroccans such a ride in Qatar, didn't they? Became the first African team to reach the semi-finals. And the women certainly hoping a bit of that magic rubs off on them. Here's Clara Ball. Pops on a hat-trick. Why not have a go?
She's definitely got the ability to score from those kind of areas. We've seen her score 2 with her head. Why not go for unleashing one from the edge of the box? I say head. I think that second one could potentially go down as a shoulder goal. But they all count, and they're all in the back of the net, and she won't mind what it goes in off.
Such a threat. And usually you're sort of looking for golden boot winners around about 6 or 7 goals at a Women's World Cup. Both her and Sophia Smith now have 2.
Yeah, I think sometimes in these group stages, when there is such a wide range of abilities between the teams, you can sometimes get a slightly skewed golden boot standing if you've got one team that wins significantly more than others. But we've seen in the competition so far, it's been very competitive throughout.
Just 3 minutes out of time at the end of the first half.
Shows how much this game's flowed. I think quite a few of the games have had quite a few injuries or VAR moments, ball out of play. This game has been flowing from the start, and it's credit to both the teams.
Good fun up until now. That was a mistake by Amici. Almost giving the ball straight back to Alexandra Popp, who's been involved in the thick of the action for Martina Voss-Tecklenburg's team. Took Switzerland to the knockouts on their debut. Took charge of Germany in 2019 and here, and she was a German player of some repute, winning European championships galore.
Frustration there from Rosella Ayan, giving away that free kick. She's worked so hard charging down this line in the first half.
Hoot. Brandt trying to get down the back of the Moroccan defence. Again, tightly packed. Svenja Hoot. Managed to get round. Taken out. Ladouani away. And Germany winning it back high up. Leupolz. Poltz doing very well once again. Leupolz again. Chelsea player swinging the ball out to Hoop. Ladouani, who's had a lot of defending to do, puts it out for a German throw right at the end of the first half.
Germany pressing so high. As soon as they give away possession, there's bodies around the ball, making it so difficult for Morocco to gain any kind of possession.
Lopez once again causing problems. Magol. The back heels onto Bragg, into the area, needs support, pulls it back, and 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 effort is blocked. And Morocco just about survive. Great football from Germany, intricate build-up and creative play to end the first half. As they lead by 2-0, and it's very rare that Germany don't live up to expectation when it comes to World Cups. It's hardly ever said about Alexandra Popp. Her 2 goals have put Germany in the driving seat. Kim Little and Fran Kirby will reflect on that in the first half with Michelle Owen in just a few moments. But at half-time, it's Germany 2, Morocco 0.
Cup 2023.
Germany 2-0 up against Morocco at half-time thanks to a brace from captain Alexandra Popp, that first after 11 minutes. And she got hers and Germany's second with this improvised header, certainly leading by example. Fran, is this what we thought would happen from this Germany side?
Yeah, I think so. I think Morocco will be a bit disappointed to have conceded the way they did. I think they've held their own. I think they look comfortable in possession in some stages. It's just that final product, I think, for Morocco is just lacking a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we knew Germany were going to be dominant in the game, and they've shown that. And obviously with the 2 goals from Popp, who we spoke about before the game. So yeah, I mean, I think it's been the way we expected it to be, but I also think Morocco have held their own really well, and obviously I think if the final product was a little bit better, I think they would have had a few more chances. Yeah,
given that Morocco have held their own for a lot of the first half, Kim, do you think they've been disappointed, as Fran mentioned, to concede in the fashion they did?
Yeah, I think so. I think the timing of the goals just before the half, obviously 10 minutes in, I think when you're a team that, you know, are trying to reduce the score line, I think that can be a real blow to defensively. But I think they've kept their 4-4-2 shape really well throughout the game and have minimised the chances that Germany could have in open play. But I think, yeah, from the first goal, I think it actually comes from them giving the ball away off this touch from their defender, and I think that's disappointing. They maybe could have been a bit calmer on the ball, recycled it, yeah, and just reset really so that Germany can retreat a bit. But I think Germany retain it really well, and the cross from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 and then the finish from Popp was quite easy in the end, and I think that was mainly due to the kind of defence being out of place. I think their left-sided centre-back should have gone into goal to protect the goal, which would have allowed the right-sided centre-back to be a bit deeper and to mark Popp, which made the header harder. But yeah, I think they'll be disappointed with the way they've conceded.
Do you think the keeper came, Fran, because she'd come for the first one as well?
Yeah, I think she got a bit excited because she had come out and did really well in the first instance, and they just didn't quite clear their lines well enough. And like Kim said, you haven't cleared your line in the first instance, you're under a bit of pressure, just get hold of the ball, just keep the ball, try and relieve that pressure a little bit so you're not just turning it straight back over when you're completely disorganised. And you saw there the left-sided centre-back, she's given the ball away, then she's thought, I've got to get back in and try and win the ball back, when actually she should have probably just stayed within the width of the goal to deal with the centre forward, which is what Popp did as a number 9. Stay in the width of the goal, the ball will come in, and you've got an easy finish there, because like you said, the goalkeeper got a bit excited and they both got drawn to the ball. So yeah, it's bad defending. It's a good cross, good finish from Popp, but I think defensively they'll be a bit disappointed with it.
2-0 came from a set piece then, and for Popp, this wasn't as straightforward. I said to you, wow, did she mean this? And you were absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a great set piece. I think it's a really flat-driven ball, a lot of pace on it. So it's something that if someone just gets a little header on it, it will probably end up going in the back of the net as well. But this is just the aggression from Popp. You can see there she's pushing 2 people out of the way, like, no, I'm going to come and get this ball and I'm going to win it. And it's too close for the goalkeeper to react with not knowing where Popp is. And yeah, I think that just shows her motivation, her passion, her aggression to go and win it. So the delivery was great because you get a flick on it, it ends up in the back of the net. But yeah, a bit of an unorthodox finish, but she's amazing aerially with heading ability and everything to do with her game, and she's been definitely the link-up player there for Germany.
Hard for the Morocco forwards, isn't it? Feeding off scraps, really, Kim?
Yeah, definitely. Like Fran said earlier, they've kept possession in some areas well, but just don't quite have that final thing in the final third or the second third of the pitch. So it's been quite difficult for them. But I think, like we said earlier, for them to be at this World Cup and to have this experience, yeah, I'm sure they'll be enjoying it in different ways, and I think they've done incredibly well considering it's their first World Cup and to be in a major tournament and in this experience that a lot of them won't have had before. So I think you have to give them credit for that, for sure.
OK, well, I'm sure you've been cheering on all the goals at home already at this World Cup, but here's another reason to celebrate as they fly in. It's our World Cup competition.
Time now for your chance at home to win an amazing £30,000 and an extra goal-busting bonus. Every goal scored during the tournament will add an extra £250 to the £30,000 prize pot. Count up the goals and count up the jackpot. For your chance to win, just go to the website. Entries cost £2. Text GOAL to 82223. Text costs £2 plus your standard network rate message. Or post
welcome back to Melbourne, where the second half of Germany against Morocco is about to get underway. But just a quick reminder, we've got more great World Cup action for you after this match as Brazil take on Panama in their World Cup opener. So make sure you stay with us for that. So, Fran, this Morocco side, how do they stay in the game now? 2-0, you know, they're still in it, but it's been tough going.
Yeah, it's been really tough, I think. Maybe you'll see a bit of fatigue coming in the legs, especially of the two forwards. They're doing a lot of work up there. But I mean, just trying to keep their defensive discipline. But obviously, as you get tired, you lack that concentration. So I think it's going to be really tough for them in this second half.
Time to get the action back underway then, and back to our commentators, Siobhan Chamberlain. And first,
thank you very much, Michelle. Morocco, one of those nations that benefited from the expansion of this tournament. It's the biggest Women's World Cup so far. And we haven't had too many one-sided contests yet. And even though Germany have a 2-goal lead, Morocco have shown signs and have been competitive in the match. And much of their recent success has been down to the Federation's 4-year plan, launched in 2020. They've spread their scouts wider, reorganised the domestic league, set up a youth championship. Early start here from Germany. Ball in towards Pop. Doesn't reach her, but McGall turns it onto the bar. Comes back to Clara. Ball. It's the worst possible start to the second half for Morocco. 10 seconds after the kickoff, Germany extend their lead to 3. Clara Ball finishing off the move, and Morocco just weren't set.
The worst possible start for Morocco, but the best possible start for Germany. Clara Ball starting this move down this left-hand side. We said in the first half, get more width, get balls whipped in from those wide areas, and you're causing problems there at the back post. Just clip that post. Couldn't manage to get the clearance. Clara Ball came in from that wide position and was there to slot it home. We thought the chance had gone. Germany kept the move alive. And the set to Clara Ball, she was making no mistake from there. Smashed into that bottom corner, and 3-0 looks way too far to come back now for Morocco.
Now, we said there weren't too many one-sided games, but this has the propensity to be one of those one-sided matches. If Germany decide to put their foot on the accelerator now, they certainly did that 10 seconds into the second half.
And it's all come from the wide areas again. All 3 of Germany's goals have come from crosses. Yes, that final goal was indirectly from the cross, but that's where the build-up came from. So I'd expect to see for the rest of the second half, Germany to be trying to exploit those wide areas a little bit more, switch the ball, get them out to Bull, get them out to Brand, Hoot, Rauch, whoever's overlapping from those fullback areas, and get deliveries into the box.
Well, Germany, massive favourites to win this group, but Morocco will be looking at their games now, I think, against South Korea and Colombia, the other 2 teams that make up Group H. Morocco 72nd in the world, Germany 2nd, so there was always going to be a sizable gap between the 2. Morocco very much a developing nation.
Look, it's a great opportunity to play against a team like Germany in a World Cup. Yes, you want the scoreline to be respectable. Yes, you'd love to win it. But the growth that these players will get from playing in front of a crowd like this, in a moment like this, in a World Cup against players like this will be phenomenal. And now take that through to that second game and that third game of the group.
I imagine you've been on both sides of it. When you're in a game 2-0, you think there's still a chance of being involved in it, and then 10 seconds after the restart, you lose that goal, which makes it look a little bit less likely that you can come back. How does that feel?
It's that whole half-time talk of, can you stay in the game?
Euler Brand slipping it down to McGall, but Clara Ball is there and hits the outside of the post this time. Offside flag went up against her anyway, may not have counted. Another great chance.
It was really clever play here from McGall, because she lets it run between her legs. She knows she's offside. Ball slightly was as well, or whether it took a slight deflection. hit the outside of the post, but this is looking more ruthless and more dominant from Germany. Spoke about it before, about kind of being on both sides of it. You go in at half-time, you get your team talk, say keep it tight, don't let them score. 10 seconds in, it's all out the window, and that's when your leaders need to take charge on the pitch.
Might be a little bit longer than 10 seconds in the end, but certainly it was a very quick one, wasn't it, after the restart?
It was. I remember playing an FA Cup final once against Arsenal, and we were the underdogs, and we said, look, just keep it tight, don't concede early. I think 30 seconds in, we were 1-0 down. The worst possible start.
Ball. Nakash is found, taken out. This is 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 with an effort. Saved by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Still have the enterprise required to get shots off and test the goalkeeper.
Yeah, great effort there from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Although Germany are obviously dominating and leading 3-0, it's not been completely one-sided. Morocco have had their opportunities.
Hendrick. Leupolz. Bull. Rousery. Trying to skip away down that right-hand side to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He's born in Barcelona, grew up in Brussels. Was brilliant at Anderlecht, currently playing for Club Brugge. Tricky right winger. Another chance to get the ball forward. Ayan, good pass. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 steaming forward. There's space on the left-hand side. A chance, a finish, and an offside flag. And Anissa Lamari, who was about to celebrate the first Moroccan goal, as her celebrations dampened, just went a little bit too early.
It was brilliant play from Morocco. The touch by Ayan, the flick, the finish by Lamari, all fantastic play. Just as you said, just strayed offside, just that step too early. She could have afforded to hold. But again, more positive play from Morocco, more opportunities, and they've got to take the positives from them.
I think it was good defending actually from Germany, because central defender just moved up at the last moment just to catch her offside.
The experience that Germany have got in that back line, they understand how they play together as a unit as well as how they play as individuals.
Germany can't afford to get too casual though. Skipping past the defender, Cassie, and then another one. In the end, it had to be Yasmin Rabat who came across to stop the Brandt Express.
Brilliant footwork from Brandt. Takes it round the defender, knocks it in through the penalty box. As you said, the goalkeeper comes out and makes the block. But again, Germany causing problems in these wide areas.
Clara Ball. Now, her deliveries from wide areas have been really important. Alexandra Popp will be lurking with intent again. The goalkeeper came and didn't reach that time. Back in by Hoot. And it was just steered away and then helped into her own net inadvertently by Hanan 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's 4-0 Germany. And that was a mess of Morocco's own making.
Again, it all starts with a brilliant delivery. Every delivery from Germany so far this tournament, they've been fantastic. And 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 comes in at that far post, just as it was creeping away from goal. Manages to get her foot to it under pressure. Not what she wanted. You can see in her face there, heartbreak for her. There's still a long way for this Moroccan team to go.
Well, now it's starting to look very one-sided, isn't it? That's the kind of goal you can see when things have started to run away from you. And then 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
Strong play there by Lamari. Holding the ball up well, drawing the foul from Hoot. In a really good position from Morocco. A set piece is an opportunity to bring it back in.
Fascinating, isn't it, when you think just a few moments ago Lamari had that opportunity to get Morocco back in the game, and then all of a sudden it's 4-0.
That's why we love football so much. So quick moving, so fast changing.
Taken out, and Shabak standing over this free kick. Nakash, Rabat, Ayan all lined up inside the penalty area. Shabak to strike it. It's a deep one. Ayan trying to keep it in. Might have just gone behind.
Not a good enough delivery there from Morocco to cause problems for Germany. But if you look how they set up, they're completely zonal. Nobody picking up any of the Moroccan markers. I don't think you see that very regularly anymore. You normally see at least a few players, player-to-player marking.
She'll certainly having her mind now that she can pick up a hat-trick in this game, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. As Moroccan legs tire. And there will be part of Martina 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who is very much a winner. Who will be thinking about freshening up this team, thinking about her team's development further down the track.
She will be, but Alexandra Popp will not want to be leaving the pitch with the opportunity to score. I know I always hear centre forwards say, no, I'm here for the team. I want to make sure that the team win, and I'm sure 100% they do, but they want to be on that score sheet as well.
I'm sure 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 is thinking that she wouldn't mind being subbed in for her at some point this evening as well. He's got some thinking to do. Actually played in Euro 96 for France. Reynald Pedros. It's the penalty at Villa Park. That one saved by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 of all people.
It's not a bad goalkeeper to save your penalty, is it? I mean, not that you ever want to miss a penalty, but from the goalkeepers' union perspective.
Terrific goalkeeper. That's good football from Germany. And then given away cheaply by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. One back. Well, soon to Ralk, Brandt, Pop. 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Supremely confident now, Germany, and that's a good run by McGall to leave that for 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's 4 or 5 arriving on the edge of the area. Can they be picked out? 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 gets there first. Germany still fighting for it. Away by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's a little bit desperate there from Morocco.
Some last-ditch defending there for Morocco. And 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 definitely didn't want to be involved in another goal going in. See there the finish. And here, the own goal that I'm speaking about previously from 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. Disbelief in her eyes. She's got to pick herself up and continue for Morocco because she's an important part of their side.
They are playing the highest ranked European side, and he's certainly enjoying it, and I think she is as well. For a relatively slow start. Games against Vietnam and Zambia in the build-up to the tournament didn't inspire too much confidence, but she never wavered. And with the exception of a couple of notable absentees, Linda Dahlmann, Julia Gwynn, probably the most high-profile, most of their top players are fit going into the tournament. Oberdorf and Hegering will be back during the group stages. They had a pretty good 12 months, really, and they are primed for success. They've got their eyes on the ultimate prize. The Moroccan fans who have come to see their team know that this is not a game that is going to define their tournament. Their lack of experience at the highest level is always going to mean it was a pretty daunting experience taking on Germany, but there is talent, and the knockout stages may not be beyond them. First change incoming. And Lena Latbine is going to be the first off the bench.
Talk there about the possibility of progressing out the group. Germany will obviously be huge favourites and should automatically win this group. But out of the other three, there's every opportunity for anyone there.
3 subs incoming for Germany. Latbine, Schuler and Anyomi, I think, are about to enter the fray. Does indicate that there might be a rest incoming for the record goal scorer.
And it's not what you want to see as a Moroccan back line to have 2 fantastic German fresh-legged forwards coming onto the pitch.
Ralk. Ball. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Morocco not able to get hold of the football. Leupolz. Such a good player. Dubbits. Leupolz again. Germans flooded with confidence and a bit of swagger about them now. Here's 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and she's got 2 over. And a little touch from 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, just meaning that 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓰 had to get down.
A great run in behind by Brandt, gets round the defender, and thankfully for 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, the goalkeeper got down and made a really smart stop. Otherwise that would have been own goal number 2.
Clara Ball coming off. And Nicole Anyomi is the first replacement. Coming in for Horrible. McGall also being replaced, as is Melanie Leupolz. What a story is really, as Latbeen and 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 also come on. Leupolz has started this tournament and recently became a mother, travelled with her baby son and a nanny, and the group seemed pretty excited by this. Martina 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 saying that all the group were willing to help Melanie out. And then there's Grandma Martina, who wants to have a go as well.
It's great from both sides. As a player, you love having little kids around. And as a mum, it's nice to have someone that can share the load.
France corner, flicked on, hits the post, comes back. And Brandt can't convert. That's a couple of times now that Ramici's frame of the goal has come to a rescue. Shebak. And the biggest problem for Morocco really has been that any promising attack they have had hasn't really materialised into a proper opportunity.
Yeah, they've struggled to hold the ball up when they get high up the pitch. They've been pressed really quickly, really aggressively from Germany. And if it is Ayane that's up there, that's the furthest up, she hasn't had the support around her or been able to wait and hold it and linger on the ball long enough to get support around her.
Shebak. That line nudging the ball away from her. Top has just dropped back a little bit deeper, and 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 has gone up as almost the furthest forward. She was the top scorer in qualifying, 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Slightly different shape from Germany as they look to add to the 4 goals they've already mustered.
I think Pop gave 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 the look and said, I want to stay on the pitch, just drop me in deeper.
Brandt. It's come out to this left-hand side now, and Iomi's gone out to the right. Getting a little bit spicy.
Brandt's been great when she's on the ball, when she drives at players. She's got great feet, great footwork, can take it in and out.
Comes Anissa Lamari, and on comes Salma Armani of FC Metz. Cracking story. At one stage she was a gendarme with the French police, juggling her football career, Salma Armani. Now she's playing at a World Cup. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. The reverse ball for Nyami to chase. Dealt with by Cassie. El Haj eventually clearing. First touch for Armani.
Anyomi already showing her quality. That speed in behind down those wide areas, and the delivery into the box again. As Morocco get tired, it's going to get more and more difficult. So they're just catching the frame of the goal. As you said before, goal starting to live a slightly charmed life.
It's a foul throw by 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Football in Australia has come a long way in recent decades. It wasn't an option for many boys, and certainly not girls 20, 30 years ago. The prominence of Aussie rules, cricket, rugby pulled rank for a time, but it's changing now. And this tournament is accelerating the growth of the game. The opening match was shifted last minute to accommodate more supporters. The extra 35,000 seats sold out in 45 minutes. Shows you about the appetite. And we've got some big games to come over the next week or so. And That's before we get into the knockout stages. This is Rauch. An early cross, which is dealt with by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Tussling for the ball. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Brand. A bit too heavy for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and Shabak was there to cut off the route.
Germany really growing in confidence, growing into this match. See, the crowds are definitely enjoying it. Lots of German supporters in the crowd there, really having a good time. But as I said, Germany growing into it, moving the ball around with so much patience. You can afford to do that when you're 4-0 up, but this will give them confidence building into the rest of the tournament.
𝓳𝓸𝓲 been sent through the middle. Offside flag stayed down. Amici ended up coming out very quickly. The flag didn't actually go up until the referee had blown the whistle.
No, I always get quite frustrated by the late decision of that when it's something that's quite obvious. If an injury was to happen in that collision potentially between 𝓳𝓸𝓲 and the goalkeeper, it's unnecessary. It didn't happen then. And the goalkeeper made a good decision to come out and clear, but there are sometimes questions about the lateness of those kind of decisions.
𝓳𝓸𝓲 again. Looks as if she was in an offside position in that moment. And Yomi is on the far side. It's a hefty ball by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to try and find her. $18 minutes to go. Germany in full control.
I'm sure we'll see another couple of changes from Germany as well if they can afford to give players some game time, rotate, freshen up those legs. I'm sure they definitely will. Sometimes you watch Germany and you think they're such a well-oiled machine. There's no way that any other team's going to have much luck against them unless you put together a fantastic performance. But today, they haven't looked brilliant defensively. Yes, they're winning 4-0, but Morocco have had great opportunities against them. So for any other team that's watching this, and for potentially England in that quarter-final match, should things go according to plan, there are loads of opportunities to be able to get at this German side.
Yeah, they play Colombia next in Sydney, and then off to Brisbane to play South Korea, and they are geared for that meeting with England at the quarter-final stage in Sydney on August the 12th, if all goes to plan. They will have to play France or Brazil in the last 16 first.
Tasty potential matches in the knockout stages.
Seems to be a very heavily weighted bottom half of the draw, though, doesn't it? Funnily enough, the USA seem to have a slightly smoother set of fixtures. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
And before we get to those knockout stages, there's some tasty-looking group games. I think the one that stands out to me, Japan against Spain.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. That's next week, isn't it?
And judging by their performances in their opening matches, it's going to be a very entertaining football match.
Naomi causing problems for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. And Naomi. A little bit late with her challenge. It's a stinger for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's the first yellow card of the game.
Yeah, it's a little bit late. I wouldn't say it was necessarily malicious, just came at it from the wrong side. I think she just got her ankle caught in the turf as she came round from the outside. Very painful nevertheless.
And yeah, he plays for Eintracht Frankfurt, 23 years of age. There was a bit of talk about her replacing Julia Gwynn at right back, actually, in the build-up to the tournament, but that job's gone to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 today. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, who suffered a terrible head injury in the AFCON final 18 months ago, and that could have been a nasty ankle injury.
Yeah, you see there on the replay the way it got caught under her body. Looks like hopefully she's up and okay. As you said, could have been quite a nasty one there with the ligaments.
Not a particularly easy trip for the Moroccans. They're the only one of 3 teams in the World Cup who play each of their 3 group games at different time zones. The next up, South Korea in Adelaide, then Colombia on the other side of the country in Perth. Brown. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. And Yomi. Brand, intelligent ball. Now, but it's 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. Schuler's just dripped into the centre. Rauch's got her eyes up. Pop's lurking with intent on the edge of the penalty area. Schuler up there. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 might come down towards 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. Over the bar.
She just had a little bit too much time there. Sometimes you need to be put under pressure to be forced into making the quality decision. A little bit too much time. Leant back, fired it over the crossbar. And the quality that she's got as a player, you'd expect that to be on target.
27,256 in the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium, a stadium that holds just about 30,000 for football, maybe 29,500 for rugby. So it's almost completely full. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓷. Slipping in 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. And 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 for Germany. And Cassie dropping in to ensure that there are no further German goals.
Great combination and link-up play by Germany in that box. Just thought Brand might have taken that shot on first time before taking the touch. Seemed to go a little bit wide. Morocco got enough bodies back into that 6-yard box to make it difficult.
Rauch. Goalkeeper comes, punches it, they can't help it, it's going to go in. Alexandra Pop went to try and bundle home a hat-trick goal, but I think it may have crossed the line by then. There was an inevitability about that ball crossing the line, and Germany now have 5. There may well be an inquest here. Was there a foul in the build-up to the goal? May VAR look at it.
A whole host of bodies in that 18-yard box. Looks like the goalkeeper punches it onto her own player's head. Comes to punch. I think it punches onto Mirabet's head. a bundle of bodies.
May go down as a Radouani own goal or a 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 own goal. Either way, I'm not sure it's going to be given to 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, although our official goal-scoring register does, at this moment in time, credit her with that goal. We don't understand that VAR are looking at it in any way, shape or form, but Radouani, I think, got the final touch on the line. Now it's been changed to a 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 own goal. I don't really think even the official scorers are completely clear.
I don't think they are. The goalkeeper definitely punched it. She got the first connection, got the punch onto the back of 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's head. Then, as you said, Radouani on the line. Tried to make the clearance, but couldn't quite. Depends on whether they count it as having already crossed the line there. I don't think either Moroccan player would like to be attributed with an own goal. I'm sure they'd love to pass it off to 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, but if I'm being honest, I don't think that's going to work.
No, I think it's probably going to go down as a 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 own goal. A couple of changes about to take place. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, the African Champions League winner, about to come in. Let's have a look at it again. I mean, it's probably easier to determine who it didn't touch.
You can see the reaction from 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 there as it hits her from the punch. It just depends on whether they count it as having already crossed the line or whether Rouet gets a contact. But there's so many bodies in the box, and the delivery from Germany on all of their set pieces today has been brilliant. It makes it so much more difficult to defend. If you're a goalkeeper that's coming to make a clearance, you've got to connect fully, you've got to get height on it, and you've got to clear it from all those bodies.
Elodie Nakash looks a bit concussed, and she is going to be replaced. 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰 and 𝓤𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 about to come on. 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰 wearing 5 is Morocco's youngest scorer in AFCON history, another born in France, and she takes the place of 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, whose own goal may just have handed Germany a 5-star victory. And there might still be a bit more to come from Germany in the next 10 minutes or so. I do hope that Elodie Nakash is okay, Servette defender. That definitely will be the end of proceedings for 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. She is done for the day. No World Cup hat-trick this evening. But a seismic performance, 2 goals. And Laura Freigang, perennial sub, but a big fan's favourite in Germany, comes on for the final 8 or 9 minutes of the game.
Not got a hat-trick, but put in a fantastic performance for Germany there, and I'm sure they'll want to rest her legs for a little bit because they'll need her fresh, and they will need her firing on all cylinders if they're going to go all the way in this tournament.
Morocco came into this tournament not necessarily all about results. They determined to give a good image of themselves and Arab football. I think they'd like something to cheer about, to take home. They don't want to be embarrassed. They will know that Colombia, Japan and Nigeria all went home from their first World Cup without scoring a goal. And they've shown on a couple of occasions that they do possess a threat. And they might hope that over the course of the next couple of matches they'll be able to do that. They'll also hope that Elodie Nakash has recovered in time. She doesn't look in great shape. It's good football. 𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 picking out Freigang. Once again showing the depth of German talent.
And that's one of the biggest things in this tournament. It's not just about your starting 11, it's about the depth that you've got in your squad. Being able to rotate, being able to make changes and bring fresh legs on with good quality.
Freigang and Yomi. with the 5 goals that they've registered tonight in Melbourne, Germany have equalled Japan's 5-0 win over Zambia in Hamilton earlier in the week. Can they take the top score? 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Freigang. Brandt keeping it alive. Scooting down that left-hand side. The little flick takes it behind. They want a corner.
He's definitely enjoying himself, and Brandt is another one that's been enjoying herself down that left-hand side. She's been really, really positive for Germany, one of their best players for me. I'd like to see Germany get involved a little bit more. Whenever the balls are down these wide areas, it's been causing problems.
Well, they are checking for a possible penalty for a potential handball, which is why we have the delay. But things seem to have been cleared up pretty quickly. Scherbak. Ayan in behind and into the German box, needs a bit more support. Goes behind and away for a corner. It is the first Moroccan corner of the game, 86 minutes in.
Good play by Rosella Ayan. She's worked tirelessly throughout this 86 minutes so far, charging up and down, and it's nice to see her get a little bit back from that, winning this corner for them with an opportunity right at the death.
You can hear the crowd trying to cheer Morocco on. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 about to take the corner kick, whipped into that near post area, dealt with and away by Hendrik. It's another Moroccan corner. They've made a few friends, this Moroccan team. And their progress over the last couple of years has been steep. This is always going to be a learning curve. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. A chance. And it's headed away. Kept alive. Opportunity for Amani. An easy stop for 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
Comfortable by Fromes. But Amani, great footwork, just couldn't quite get that connection. But again, we've said it time and time again today, positive play from Morocco, getting up into good areas. They just haven't quite had that ruthless clinicalness.
And it will inspire, and they will draw attention to women's football in the Arab world by playing an enterprising brand of football, by the rapid nature of their development, going to an AFCON final, getting to a World Cup. The restructuring of the league has certainly helped them cast their net into England and France to find players of Moroccan heritage that can improve the levels. We haven't seen her today, but at some point we will expect to see Nouala Benzina, who's, if she gets on the field of play, will become the first woman to wear a hijab on the field at a Women's World Cup. And that may come further down the track in their other 2 group games. Rauk is off, Hagel is on.
Quiet and comfortable match for Fromes, one that should have expected to have not been too busy for. Confident goalkeeper, be vital for them moving forwards.
Do goalies like that when you haven't got much to do, or do you find it frustrating? Sometimes you feel like
it's a mixture of the two. You want to make a couple of saves, but at the same time it's nice when your team dominate, but you always know that you're going to have that moment. At some point you've always got to stay switched on, because you will have that moment.
That's the hardest thing to do, isn't it? Stay concentrated when your team are pretty much spending most of their time in opposition territory.
Most definitely, and we saw that with Mary Earps in England's opener. She didn't have much to do and then had that really important, vital top save with her foot at the death to keep the clean sheet and to keep England with the 3 points. So it is so important, the mental side of the game as well as the physical side.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 bursting into opposition territory. Left line comes back towards 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's 6 for Germany. The biggest score at the World Cup so far. Racked up by the European finalists and one of the tournament's big favourites. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, top scorer in qualifying. Prolific. Once again on the score sheet for Germany. And they've racked up a big score.
Again, it's from wide areas. Germany have dominated. They've delivered this ball into the box. The keeper's made a smart stop to start with. It's dropped out at just the wrong angle, right at the wrong person. And 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 is there to put it away. But again, time and time again, Germany from these wide areas, the deliveries in, the cutbacks, the pullbacks, the way they find their players inside this 6-yard box, they have been ruthless and they have been lethal.
She just loves goals, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. She once scored 4 in 28 minutes against Serbia in qualifying. German Female Footballer of the Year in 2022. Actually had to lead the line in that European final because of the injury to Alexandra Popp. But she might not be finished with her goal scoring yet because there are 9 minutes of added time.
I'm not sure how the Moroccan team would have felt when they saw that. Fourth official lift the board up, saying 9 minutes of added on time.
There's merit in it, isn't there? Because, you know, we know that ball in play time is only ever between 56 and 60 minutes in matches, but I know that the IFAB are considering bringing in a mercy rule as well, so that when you get into this situation where there is no chance of someone coming back from 6-0 down, you can blow the whistle on 90 minutes without adding time.
Yeah, most definitely. I think both teams will feel comfortable with that, except if you're a team that needs to add to that goal difference and you're suddenly saying we've got a mercy rule, you're saying no, I want to carry on playing, we need those goals. It's a hard one to determine.
Well, goal difference does come into play in the group stages, but I don't think Germany are going to have to rely on that.
I'd be slightly concerned with their future results if they had to rely on goal difference.
Mayan, away by Hendrick. A deflection on the way through from the effort from Hanan Eid El Haj.
Saw Fromes there pointing to her head. Just kind of keep your eye on it, keep concentrating. So as you said about being involved as a goalkeeper, the last thing you want is to win a game 6-1. To have that one, even though you haven't lost the game, you haven't drawn the game, it's so annoying, so frustrating to have that one goal conceded against you. So clean sheets are so important to goalkeepers and the team.
If you're going to win the World Cup, you usually have to win your first game. That has been the case at the last 8 Women's World Cups. Germany have never failed to reach the knockout stages. They've qualified for every single World Cup. And they're about to register a 20th win in 25 group games. Anyomi. Anyomi ended up getting it in the face, and 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰 is putting pressure on Radouani. They're still employing that high press.
Germany are just ruthless when it comes to tournament football. Yes, their build-up matches didn't go according to plan. They conceded goals, they didn't get the victories that they wanted. But you put them in a tournament scenario and they get the job done more often than not.
Here comes Rosa. I think she'll be delighted to have got out and played 94 minutes at this World Cup, doing her family proud. She was desperate to make sure that everybody knew why she was representing Morocco, the birthplace of her father. Family watching back in Reading and beyond will be proud to have seen her play on the world stage. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Delivery punched away this time by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's back in. It's towards 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and 𝓳𝓸𝓲 is there. Told you her goal scoring wasn't finished. Or is she going to be denied by an offside flag? Well, the VAR will check it. It's going to be tight.
It is going to be tight. There's 4 German players there lining up ready to score. And she headed it the one place the goalkeeper can't save it, right between her legs. But just strayed that half a foot off.
They are checking the offside leading up to the goal. There is a review on it, which will, I'm sure, employ those semi-automated offside graphics and the computers from the VAR hub. And Caroline Chenard, the Canadian official, just going through those now to ensure that our USA official Tori Penso was correct. I think it is. Check over, and the goal has been disallowed, and that's the reason why, because 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 gets the touch.
Yeah, you can see on that replay the touch from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. I'm not sure if even if it didn't take the touch, whether she was slightly offside anyway.
She's a poacher though, isn't she? Sherbak looking to try and release down that right-hand side, and didn't quite pick out the run of Sofia Buffcini. Neat flick that. Maybe the Germans have to settle for 6. Good start to the tournament for them. Quite their biggest win at the tournament. That was 11-0 against Argentina in 2007. 𝓳𝓸𝓲 needs a bit of support here. Maybe. Attempted something fancy, didn't quite come off for it.
The referee's just pulled that back for the free kick. He said something fancy. Probably not the right moment, but when you're 6-0 up in the 98th minute, I suppose it's an opportunity to try anything.
Yeah, but it's 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Back into 𝓳𝓸𝓲. Yeah, 𝓳𝓸𝓲 letting one rip. Every time she gets the ball, she has one thing on her mind.
That's exactly why she scored so many goals for Germany and in the league.
48th cap tonight, 32 goals now. She's got 66 goals in 99 games for Bayern Munich.
And she doesn't start for Germany. Just shows you the talent they've got in their team.
Yeah, they seem to have had a good day, despite the scoreline. Seen a lot more headers in the last couple of days being converted. Six of the last 12 goals now have come that way in the Women's World Cup. Maybe they've replaced penalties as the in vogue way of scoring a goal. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰
Ďābritz, it's a little bit short. Radovani's going to get there first. And there's a full-time whistle. Germany get off to a winning start. Disappointing day for Morocco, but delight for Germany. Martina Voss-Tecklenburg says her team has stoked emotions and made people believe that they can compete for the title. That creates pressure, but it's pressure that they're usually able to shoulder, especially with her in the team. There will be bigger obstacles than Morocco to jump. The first Arab nation to bring a team to a Women's World Cup. They will hope they still have a role to play in this competition, but their hopes of getting anything from this game went pop quite a long time ago. Germany 6, Morocco 0.
Yeah, indeed. Half-time, it was 2-0 in that second half. Germany ran riot. In fact, 21 seconds into that second half was when they got their third, Kim.
Yeah, I think they were right on the front foot. I think Bull stepped forward to take the misplaced pass from the Moroccan midfielder. And I think, yeah, they were just a bit disjointed at the start of the half. I think me and Fran spoke about them not actually paying attention before the kick-off. So, yeah, it was a great front foot pressure from Bull, and then a really good clip to the back post, and again a cross from Germany, which again they've showed their strength in a really calm kind of finish from Bull to put them 3-0 up.
Yeah, easy to lash at those, isn't it?
What, sorry?
Easy to lash at those. And
yeah, definitely. I think she's kind of gone in between. She's lashed a little bit and put some pace into it, but also controlled it very well. So it was a great finish from Bull.
And then 4-0, Fran, just seemed to be a lack of communication from the Moroccan defence here.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the story of their game, to be honest. I think 5 of the 6 goals have all come from deliveries. And then here, Hoof does well to keep it alive, and then, yeah, a bit of a mismatch. I think the defender can do a little bit better at the back there. I don't think she's waiting for it, and, you know, I think just hook it. Just get rid of it. Don't try and take a touch. Just clear your lines and get it out of the goal.
And then 5-0. Do you think this could be a warning to other teams in this competition, Kim, that Germany are going to be dangerous from set pieces?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what we spoke about here in the studio, and I think on most of the set pieces and especially corners they've looked dangerous and they've looked like they're going to score. And I think with players like Pop and then having Schuler coming on as well in that kind of strength aerially, I think a lot of teams who will be coming up against Germany as the tournament goes on will need to minimise set pieces against them.
Pop really wanted that hat-trick, didn't she, Fran? But it was 6-0. And again, danger from wide areas. There seems to be so much versatility in this German squad, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. This one is a bit different because it's not a lofted pass, it's actually a cutback. So obviously everyone's going, see the Moroccan defenders, they're dropping, and that space just opens up just there. I mean, it's a good save by the goalkeeper, and Schuller's there at the right place at the right time. So they're showing that they can do different things. Obviously, a lot more of their goals in the game came from lofted crosses, but here, just the composure to find that pass and not just lash it into the box where your players are, and it just opens up that space for the shot. So yeah, they're looking very, very dangerous at the moment, and I think a lot of teams will be watching them thinking, yeah, they're here and they're ready to go. Yeah,
biggest score of this Women's World Cup so far. Let's see how it leaves their group then, and Germany, of course, top right now, but Colombia and South Korea will play tomorrow morning, early hours.